Well, good afternoon. Hopefully I'm on. All right, there we go. Sorry, sorry about that. My computer blinked out for a second there. So, welcome. Today is yet another Thursday. Again, this week we're in really wanting to talk about um, how to build better customer relationships and what does that mean. And we've talked about that over and over, I think, over the last um, 7 or 8 months. I think consumers and how they interact with your business is much different and it continues to evolve. And as um, as as progression happens within technology companies and technology spaces, it continues to adapt consumer behavior, and the mobile phone being one of the biggest pushers of that. But also we have social, we have a lot of other aspects on how we're interacting together, and so we work a lot with small businesses and with sales companies and kind of one-on-one kind of interaction with customers. There's a lot of other areas that we can think about um, when helping any type of business create that better connection. And um, yesterday, I was actually meeting with a business, and they're talking about how they've seen a really big impact on email and the effectiveness of email. And we also do a lot of email here, and um, it's not that it's going away, it's just changing, right? And as consumer behavior changes, and it's partly because of um, non-legitimate advertisers. And what I say when I think about that, I'm talking about just spammers. I mean, the amount of email that we get that is not legitimate, that is not asked for, that is not kind of warranted, just continues to increase. We see it a little bit with text as well. I mean, we're getting text messages from like I just got one a few minutes ago. It looks like it's from AT&T. They said that they found malware on my phone, right? So if I click on the link, I already know that it's spam. But we're seeing this, and so consumers don't like spam. They don't like to be bombarded with stuff. And they're going to turn off the channels that or limit the channels that do that to them. And I think that we also have um, another area that we have to think about, which um, is third parties. Um, and I'm not saying who they are, I mean, but third party ad companies, third party networks are actually taking our data and they're selling it to others. So they're saying, hey, Jay likes this and this and this, so go and you can go market to him, right? And so lots and lots of money is being spent, but there's also a lot of laws coming into effect around third party use of data. And so there's lots of really interesting tools, but I think from a business owner perspective, um, we don't want to or need to kind of rent customers from other platforms today, like maybe we did in the past. Um, and when I say this, I'm just going to give you an example of a podcast that I was listening to a couple of days ago, and it was talking about Disney. Um, Disney worldwide has about 3 billion people that they can go market to. The problem is Disney doesn't necessarily have direct relationships with 3 billion people. Um, we think about our companies, right? We want access into 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 potential customers. Disney's potential is 3 billion. And but so since Disney does not have direct relationship with 3 billion people, what they do, they have to basically rent space on other platforms that have those relationships. So Facebook and a billion people or whatever, right? I mean, you're renting space trying to get in front of your audience. And so I think this is a really interesting thing to think about. Sorry. Really interesting thing to think about as a local company, we don't have the 3 billion problem, um, nor do we have hundreds of millions of dollars to go out and spend on advertising to get to rent space, get it in front of our audience. And I may have used this example before. I think that if if we all moved to the Grand Canyon, advertisers would have to be there. So in Disney's perspective, they have to be where the consumers are. So if they have to spend money on search, if they have to spend money on social platforms, if they have to do new mediums like TikTok, I mean, they're going to do whatever they need to do in order to get in front of the 3 billion people that are the customers to get them into their stores, to get them into their parks, to get them into their um, restaurants, whatever the case might be, they're going to do that. So we as business owners, as small businesses, we have exactly the same problem. Although we're not going after the 3 billion, we're going after the 300 or the 3,000 or the 30,000 that are in our local markets. And so we have ultimately though exactly the same problem that Disney has. Um, do we want to own the relationship or do we want to rent the relationship? So when we're having to spend money on advertising on Facebook or on DoorDash or on Groupon or on Yelp or on KSL or on whatever platforms that we're going out and spending money. And so I hear, like the other day I was talking to a business and they're like, we don't spend money on on advertising at all. And it was a restaurant, pizza restaurant, and I see they have a DoorDash logo, they have um, a Grubhub logo, and I'm like, but do you do deliveries through DoorDash? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's marketing, right? I mean, they're spending 25 or 30% of a $30 order on DoorDash. And so they're thinking of it as delivery fee, but it's really a marketing fee. Because their hope is that that customer comes back to them directly, but they don't have a direct relationship, so they're really renting the customer from DoorDash. Just like Disney may rent the customer from um, Facebook or from Snap or whatever the case might be, right? So we as businesses sometimes we're thinking and fooling ourselves that we're not spending money on marketing when we really are. So just like Disney, what could Disney do to get a direct relationship with a customer? When I go to the park, um, they could interact with me and get me to opt in. So when they see that, oh, I went to Disney World in May, what about next April? Them interacting with me with some type of an offer, a deal, or something exclusive to get me interested in a Disney property again, right? And so that's what we need to do as business owners, um, and being able to have that direct relationship with a customer is vitally important. And because we all have our mobile phones, texting is one of the apps that we utilize on a daily basis for 155 million Americans and billions of people around the world. And so, if I'm a sales organization and I'm selling pest control this summer, for example, I'm getting in and being able to talk to as many people as possible. They may not answer their front door. They may see the doorbell camera. There may be dinner time when I'm coming around. They're cooking spaghetti um, or barbecuing in the backyard. They're not going to answer the door. I can still utilize this method, getting into their phone and enabling that one-on-one conversation to start. And there's um, thousands of people are utilizing something like a simple leave behind with a QR code on it that gives the consumer the convenience that they want and being able to scan that and starting a direct conversation with my company or with me as a sales rep is super valuable. But let's say I'm a workout facility and I have a business and I'm in downtown Salt Lake City, I can actually utilize that same thing and put it on the window of my store. People are, me as a merchant, people are walking by, they want to learn more, and voila, they can start a direct conversation with me. Or what if I'm the new restaurant in an outdoor mall in Costa Mesa, I can do the same thing where um, here scan here for my menu and specials, and I'm actually utilizing that to capture a little bit of customer information up front in exchange for maybe a free appetizer, a free drink, a free um, or maybe nothing free at all. Maybe it's just, hey, do you want the promise of future offers? Um, is all that it takes, and right, and so in collecting that, just like Disney, if Disney had a one-on-one connection that they could actually send me a direct message, hey Jay, it's been 2 years since you've been at Disney World. Do you want to come back? We have this new themed ride. Or if I'm the door-to-door sales guy, there's special incentives for people who are buying solar this summer, special tax incentives. Or if it's, hey, do you want to be notified when we have a termite swarm in Dallas? Um, or hey, it's been 2 weeks since you've been in the car wash. Is it time for your car to get cleaned again, right? Um, there's every type of business, every type of consumer. There's this convenient way to actually interact with them that is not trying to get them to our website, is not trying to rent them through um, one of the big ad platforms or one of the big marketplaces. There's so many other ways in order to build that one-on-one direct connection. But that one-on-one direct connection is what is going to make the difference between surviving and thriving in today's economy. As food costs are going up, fuel costs are going up, um, people are already feeling the pinch, right? And so maybe some of the extras they're not going to spend as much time or energy or money on, and so the people who have they have the best relationships are probably the places where they're going to actually spend most of their time, most of their money for the foreseeable future. And so it's not that we're in a bad spot, but it's who has the best relationship, who is the most outgoing, who is getting in front of the customer when the customer needs some time and attention, right? And so those are the companies that are going to continue to thrive and grow. And I saw this with my last business back in 2008, 9, and 10. Even though those were during a downturn, businesses that actually started building relationships with their customers and trying to do something more are the companies who grew a lot during those times. Um, and we saw it again during the pandemic, right? I mean, those that were more active and here we have a COVID policy and we're doing this to keep our employees and the customers safe are the ones that continued to thrive during those times. And so just because we may not believe in something, because we don't want to use something, because um, um, maybe I don't like Facebook, and so I think that nobody likes Facebook because I don't like Facebook, or um, I don't like texting, so I think nobody likes texting. I think as businesses, we have to kind of get out of our own way a little bit and utilize these times to test new things and and figure out what's working, what's not working, and stop doing the things that are not working. And sometimes yeah, I may get a customer by renting them, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the most productive or the most cost efficient way for me to get into that customer and to be able to build that relationship. So um, thank you so much for joining today. There are so many new avenues out there for you as a business to build that one-on-one relationship. And I don't care if you're selling cookies or solar panels, there's ways to actually utilize modern technology to build a one-on-one relationship with a customer that brings meaningful value to you, your business, your employees, and your customers. And if you can keep that in mind and have fun with it, be different. I'm listening to a Richard Branson book right now, and he's like, if you're not having fun, don't do it, right? So, but make it fun because that will um, bring more attention to your customers and the things that you're doing, and don't feel bad when you're kind of stepping out on the edge and trying something new. You will never know if it's going to work for your business unless you try it, right? So, if we can actually help you here at Fresh Lime, feel free to ping us. There's a link in the notes here. Um, and we're here to help. We love working with small businesses and would love to help you solve maybe some of the customer connection issues you may be having within your business, and hopefully we can learn a thing or two from each other. So go out and have a great day. Until next time, thank you.